moment you stop seeking to be understood. Is the moment you become unforgettable. You see, most men try too hard. They try to explain themselves. They try to get her to see their side. They chase validation like it's a currency. But there's one moment, one shift, that flips the entire script. It's not a dramatic speech. It's not a grand romantic gesture. It's you showing strength in silence. The kind of silence that isn't empty, but undeniably full. It's the day you stop arguing, stop justifying, stop dancing for approval, and you simply stand still with presence, clarity, and quiet power. That's when she starts watching you differently. That's when her tone shifts. Her eyes soften, because she just saw a man she can't manipulate, can't shake, and definitely can't forget. This isn't about tricks. This is about reclaiming your inner gravity. And once you do this once, she'll never see you the same. Again, part 1. Stop explaining yourself. 231. A lion doesn't explain why it roars. It just does, and the jungle listens. When a woman questions your choices, your beliefs, or your tone, most men panic. They start over-talking, clarifying, apologizing. But a Stoic man knows his worth is not up for debate. Instead of justifying, he lets his silence speak. Instead of over-explaining, he holds the frame. Why does this work? Because explanation often comes from insecurity, not power. When you stop trying to be understood, you communicate that you already understand yourself. And nothing is more attractive than self-certainty. She may push harder at first, confused by the lack of reaction. But over time, that resistance turns to respect. And eventually, admiration. Part 2. The Power of Delayed Response, 04.12. A man in control of his time is a man in control of his power. Instant replies, overeager calls, paragraph text explaining your day. They all scream one thing: I'm too available. But when you pause, when you take your time, you create space. And in that space, she begins to feel your absence. And that's where desire builds. Delaying your response doesn't make you a game player. It makes you a man with a life. A man who values his attention. A man who gives time, but never too easily. And when she realizes that your attention has value, she starts earning it. Part 3. Eye contact without emotion. 06. Rome. Stillness in your eyes reveals storms you've already survived. Most men smile too much, laugh too quickly, try too hard to be liked. But a Stoic gaze isn't desperate for approval. It's calm, present, slightly unreadable. When you lock eyes with a woman and hold that contact, not with aggression, but with unshakable calm, you awaken something ancient in her. A curiosity, a respect, even a little fear. Because she knows she's not in control. That eye contact tells her, I see you. I don't need you to see me. It's not about being rude. It's about being grounded. And the more grounded you are, the more she'll find herself coming back, looking for a reaction that you'll never give because your validation doesn't come cheap. Part 4. Speak less, say more, 0745. A man of few words commands a room because every word feels chosen. When you're with her, silence isn't awkward, it's power. When you speak, your voice is calm. Your words are precise. You're not competing to be the loudest. You're just anchored. Why does this shake her? Because women are used to men talking to impress. But when you speak with intent, not impulse, every sentence becomes weighted with meaning. You don't fill the silence, you own it. She starts leaning in, listening closer. She asks more questions, and suddenly, you're the most interesting man in the room. Not because you said a lot, but because what you said landed like thunder. Part 5. Control your reactions, 0930. She'll test your emotions, but she'll respect the man who doesn't flinch. A look, a tone, a subtle jab. Women don't always test you consciously, but they observe how easily you break. Do you get jealous quickly? Defensive? Do you raise your voice? Every reaction tells her something. But when you stay unmoved, not cold but composed, you tell her, you don't control my internal state. And that's when she's hooked. Because now she knows that your peace isn't something she can rattle. It's something she must earn the right to be part of. Part 6. Don't always initiate, 1120. A man who lets her come to him reveals that he doesn't need her presence to feel whole. You don't always call first. You don't always text first. You don't plan every meeting. Why? Because you're not chasing. You're not validating. You're leading through detachment. And it drives her crazy in the best way. Because now she's left wondering, why isn't he chasing me like the others? Why do I feel drawn to him even more? Here's the truth. When you stop feeding a woman attention, she either fades or fights for your space. And when she starts chasing, the power shifts. Part 7, remain mysterious, 13-15. The less they know about you, the more they imagine. And imagination is far more powerful than information. You don't reveal everything. You let your actions speak. You live a life that isn't broadcasted. Why? Because mystery breeds curiosity. And curiosity keeps people invested. You don't need to tell her every detail about your life, your past, or your feelings. You just let her wonder. And in that wondering, she builds scenarios, creates emotional depth, and begins seeing you as something she can't fully figure out. And that's when she becomes addicted to you. Because you're not just a man, you're a puzzle. Part 8, lead without needing approval, 15-10. He who leads with truth walks alone, but he walks like a king. A Stoic man doesn't lead based on what pleases her. He leads based on what's right. You plan the date, you make the decision, you hold your values. Even if she pushes back, even if she disagrees, you don't fold. Because you weren't born to be agreeable. You were born to stand firm. And ironically, when you stop trying to lead in a way that's pleasing, she starts feeling safe in your direction. She might argue, but she'll follow. Because women don't follow weakness. They follow conviction. Part 9, live a mission bigger than her, 17-20. A man without purpose becomes a slave to pleasure, and women can sense that decay. Here's the brutal truth. A man with no mission becomes a man who begs for attention. You were not made to orbit her world. She was meant to admire you from the sidelines as you build yours. When you start building something real, a business, a craft, a vision that lights you up from within, you become magnetic. Why? Because now your energy isn't scattered. It's laser focused on growth, on evolution. And when a woman sees a man moving with fire in his eyes and discipline in his blood, she doesn't just get attracted, she gets obsessed. Because deep down she knows this man will not be tamed, paused, or distracted. She has to rise to meet him, or be left behind. And that's when she falls hard, not for the man who worships her, but for the man who worships his purpose. Part 10, discipline over desire, 1905. Lust fades. Discipline carves a legacy. She's beautiful, so what? She flirts. That doesn't shake you, because you're not moved by every curve, every compliment, every temptation. You're moved by standards. Where others fall for fast pleasure, you remain unshaken. Not because you're cold, but because you respect your future more than your impulses. And that discipline, that restraint, that's what makes a woman look at you and reevaluate every man she's ever met. You're not just different, you're dangerous, because you can have her, but you choose to hold power instead. In that moment, you stop being just attractive. You become irresistible. Final word, 2045. Let's end with this. In a world where men kneel for affection, the man who stands alone becomes a god in her eyes. The world doesn't need more men chasing validation. It needs more men chasing virtue. You don't win her by becoming what she wants. You win her by becoming who you're meant to be. With or without her, so walk forward. Calm, composed, focused. Let her lose her mind trying to understand why you're not moved. Let her chase what she can't control. And as you stay grounded in purpose, silence, and strength, she won't just want you, she'll never forget you.